allow the two children to have the budget every year.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
She
Off your mind.
like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call am hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my egun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My egun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìí yẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Presido bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa ní.
Àní ẹ̀ sọ́ra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa ní.
Àní ẹ̀ sọ́ra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Máyégún live. And thank you very much for joining me, brethren. Now, if you have read the caption of this broadcast, even though it is not much, try and read the description of the broadcast as well. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Máyégún today, which is Máyégún, is live. And if you have done that already, a big thank you to you. So to those who are going to be joining us later, remember, this is the ritual, okay? Like the broadcast first. Share it after, and then sit back, relax, and enjoy the charts. So tonight, I want to use our Sunday sermon to please, kindly like touch some nerves, okay, and possibly touch some hearts too, and give us a bit of a sober reflection. Yeah. Especially if you are a Yoruba watching me this hour. It will do you a great deal of good if you possibly listen with an open mind. I can't guarantee how you are going to handle the message. But one thing I am very sure of is that it will leave you, or you will leave this platform or this program this hour as a different person. It's either you are going to get mad, very mad at me, or you are going to be filled with appreciation that Máyégún, thank you so much for actually discussing this tonight. But before we delve into it fully, it is ideal to kind of give us a bit of a caveat. That is why if you are new on Máyégún's Diary Political, the ideal thing is to remind you that Sunday sermon on Máyégún's Diary Political is a no-holds-bar session. No-holds-bar in the sense that if you don't really have a kind of like a thick skin, you are likely going to take offense in some of what you are going to hear, even though you may disagree with some of them, which is also allowed. I'm talking about really get mad, right? Because the truth is likely going to hurt you more than you are you've ever bargained for. But if you are not new on Máyégún's Diary Political, definitely, Sunday sermon is always a sermon that a lot of people always want us to be having every week, if we can. So tonight, we are going to touch on a lot of concerning issues in Yorubaland. Some of these that are sort of gotten people talking. It's got a lot of people talking, and in some cases, a lot of people have actually given up. Now, talking about it doesn't mean that it is going to be fixed right away. But somehow, we do strongly believe that, you know, a problem shared is a problem solved. And as Yoruba will say, "How can fi or what on duni a can fi sabi asho," which means, you know, a sore hand must not be hidden under the cloth. You have to show it out so that you know, you can probably get it fixed, kind of. So Sunday sermon, like I said, is a no holds bar, and it is what the Yoruba call the pete. Sometimes I say, but get mad. That's your problem. But we usually say, and to bat taba. Koma fi shebinu, ko try, ko fix it, and ko fi, ko lo tun ibeshe. So what that simply means is that the truth may be hard, all right, to take in, especially those of our people who want to be politically correct, those ones who are hiding behind politics. Because a lot of us identify the damages that politics has done to our people. Politics have done to our people, especially to our own supposed culture, tradition, indeed, in Yorubaland. And there is this fake belief, which is nonsense. When they tell you that Omoluabi, now Omoluabi is quite not a nonsense, so to say, but I'm talking about those who have abused it. Being Omoluabi means a gentleman, a properly raised gentleman, which means that as Yorubas, we respect elders a lot. But there are differences, okay? That somebody is old, right? Doesn't make them elders. Because even in Yorubaland, we have the Agbalagbas, the elders, right? We also have the Agbayas, the useless elders. It's also in Yorubaland. So unfortunately, unfortunately, those of us that were raised to respect elders, we have grown now to realize that, you see, foolish people also grow old. Criminals also grow old. And that doesn't mean that there must be accorded the same respect that is due for responsible elders. So therefore, Omoluabi, that these politically correct miscreants, especially in Yorubaland, always want to use in blackmailing us. Are you not a Yoruba? You should not be talking like that, even if the situation is that bad. Right, you shouldn't, as a Yoruba man, we should not be, spreading our dirty linen, like washing our dirty linens in public. Okay, we should keep it inside. Now, Ogedembaje, a banana is becoming rotten, but they are telling us that no, it is just ripening. That is also a Yoruba sort of a saying. Now, our culture, tradition. I'm a Yoruba man, and I want to believe that our culture, our tradition is the best in the world. You can say the same for yours, okay? There is no competition here, all right? Because we were raised, that's why I told people a few times back, I said, if we are being serious, Yoruba, right? Yoruba culture and tradition should actually be like a religion, like philosophically it should be. Because as Yorubas, we have the ways of life, and everything seems to have been so kind of like perfected. But as Yorubas says as well, that Iletuban Toro, a house, a house that is peaceful, right? It's simply because the bastards in the house are yet to grow up. That is also one thing. And why am I saying all of this to you? Because those of you who are Yorubas who are going to possibly watch this video, some of you have become so compromised by all the happenings, different happenings, in Yorubaland, different actors who have decided to sabotage, compromise the culture and the tradition of that beautiful land. Keep us divided using politics and religion. These are the two things they've used a lot. The other one that is not much pronounced is poverty. They've also used poverty enough to get our people to ignore culture and tradition. You know what I mean? Like they will say, those who are the actors behind the desecration and the destruction of the Yoruba value, the Yoruba culture, the Yoruba tradition, right? They will tell you that, oh, Baba, if you leave culture, leave tradition, olowo lagba, olowo legbon, which means forget about culture and tradition, forget about all those things. A person will get money is the elder. You know, if you don't have any money, just keep your mouth shut. You have no opinion. That is on Yoruba. Unfortunately, it is what we have today. To the point that when you now walk around, those who were supposed to be, patriotic to the Yoruba cause, like Awolowo did, God rest his soul, God bless his soul as well, right? He happened to be one Yoruba man among many, because he wasn't alone. There were other Yorubas from across Yorubaland, right? That were able to team up with him in championing the vision, the supposed, vision that he had for Yorubaland to materialize. Well, you see, today, we do not have such commitment from these characters anymore. We do not have such patriotism from different characters who are supposed to be the elders. Yoruba bo, Yoruba ni agbo ki nwa loja, kori omo tutun wo. What that simply means is that, an elder will not be in the market and watch an infant's head, right? How do I put that? Kori omo tutun wo, bend. You get what I mean now? Because the role of the elder is that the older you become, the more experienced you become. And you see that experience in life is an invaluable asset that when they say, this particular community has lost it, they will say, what about the elders there? Because their reasons for living long is to guide the younger ones, show them the right way of doing things, of keeping morality, normality in check and all that stuff, right? And then they're doing away with all the bad behaviors. But what do you do? What do you say? When those who are supposed to guide us are the ones who are actually leading us astray. When those who are supposed to use their own wealth of experience, right, to guide the younger ones in doing what is right, in preserving the culture and the tradition of the people, are the ones, right, who are desecrating it, compromising it for their selfish interest. This is what we have come to have to deal with in Yorubaland today. The other day, Obasanjo came out and said his Nigerianness is bigger than his Yorubaness. So we are proud to kind of like call him Omoale Yoruba, no matter how anybody wants to feel about it, right? They want to pretend that they are loyal to Nigeria, a contraption where we are forced in, and then in the process suck every value that Yoruba has actually owed dear, suck it away, and we are now, all those are now replaced with fundamentalism, with extremism, with selfishness, greed, all the backward things that never really progresses the people, right? So the value of education, the value of of culture, of tradition, have been eroded by those who are supposed to preserve them, by those who are supposed to kind of like nurture them in such a way that the coming generation, the younger generation, can have something of value to hold on to. Today in Yorubaland, I'm speaking about Yorubaland now because you can possibly tell me that it's the same almost everywhere. But when I was growing up, it wasn't this. And I'm not like an old man. You get that? I'm not an old man to say, maybe because I am now in my 60s, I'm talking about olden days. No, this is not olden days. As rotten as that contraption has always been, this is the worst stage we have been. And why? Because in the last 25 years, Yorubaland has been saddled with selfish individuals, including those who are supposed to hold on to our traditional stools, the royal fathers, right? Everything got so politicized, everything got so compromised, bastardized, that it just became something like people just kind of like just normalize. And these values have been so destroyed, so kind of like it's now more concerning. So this is why we want to touch on that this evening, right? I am a very proud Yoruba man, and I don't really care how anyone sees the Yorubas. I am coming from a very rich heritage, a very rich, tradition and culture, the one that has traveled all over the world, copied, emulated by different other ethnic nationalities all over the world, trying to be, at least partly Yorubas, and we are proud of that. But back home, where millions of our people have now become entrapped in state-sponsored, poverty, fundamentalism, like, extremism, where religion is now, some people are now pushing, religion over the culture and the tradition. They are like rubbishing it. They are saying it openly. Now we are now crowning criminals as kings in Yorubaland who don't give a damn about that same, that same culturally enriched, tradition. So to say, the last few days, if not last few weeks now, from the end of last year, right? A lot of us have watched with so much, like, a shock of what is now playing out, especially in Yorubaland, where, some individuals who are speaking Yorubas, people where they speak Yoruba fluently, like they are from the, the real Yorubaland, right? And they are kind of like undermining this rich heritage enough that they are telling us that their religion is so more important than their own nationality, in such a way that they are doing everything to not only to deny it, but to actually like destroy it. We are watching and then seeing all of this play out. And the usual reaction is, how did we get here? The last 25 years, to cut it short, the last 25 years of this pseudo-democracy in Nigeria has left our people poorer. It has left our people, right, pretty much like without a proper real education. It has left our people more backward. Rather, we have now become people of, no real value per se. Just do whatever you can to make money, no shame. Younger people have no leaders to look up to. Have you noticed that? We do not have any leaders anymore in Yoruba land to actually look up to and say, okay, I'm raising my kids to be like, or I'm raising my kids to be like that. You know what I mean? I'm raising them to be the proper Yoruba or Moluabi who values hard work, that hard work actually pays. Today, those who are working, who kind of still find time to work hard, are now living as paupers in a land that's supposed to be flowing with milk and honey, as they usually say. Now, it's now a land where they say, just do whatever you can. Like, nobody cares how you make it anymore. Just do whatever you can. We have a process, for example, to become an Oba in Yorubaland. Yeah? To become an Oba in Yorubaland, we have a process of, the kingmakers, for example, who also themselves have to, they have to kind of like carry themselves with so much responsibility and then, integrity, enough that they know that they are carrying the weight of, of the people, millions of people. If they should ever compromise the process of choosing a king in Yoruba land, there will be consequences. But people don't care about consequences anymore. The last 25 years, oracles no longer chooses our kings. Morality, integrity. You see, even if if we want to say that we don't want to, which is is absurd for anybody to say they don't believe in the oracle, this or that, because I don't mean it's bullshit, right? But there are other factors that you have to look into before anyone is made a king. And that is why when you see houses that are called the royal houses in Yorubaland, they tend to give, they tend to raise responsible gentlemen, responsible children, like responsible children to become responsible gentlemen. Like it's like raising leaders. So if you are a ruling house in Yorubaland, for example, and you know that this child is a potential king as a prince, so first and first, you have to be very careful of the type of education they get, the kind of training they get. They raise them in studying their tradition, their culture, their history. Do you understand? Like as a prince in Yorubaland, you will be trained. Your proper education is not just this Western education. Your education starts from you understanding who you are, understanding the responsibility that is going to fall on your shoulder if for any reason, for any time, you are called upon to come and lead your people, right? This is the type of process, enough that whenever it is time to choose a king, there are always potential omoyes. Omoyes are those that are trained in the history of the land, enough that you don't turn around and begin to shout at Jesus, Jesus, Abi Allah, Allah, over your own culture and your tradition, your own history. Now, those people will not get any respect for their own rich history. They will turn around and tell you that now Jesus made them king. Now Allah make them king. They begin to utter absolute trash and nonsense, and they are getting away with it. You will see a king in Yorubaland kneeling down before a pastorpreneur, a pulpit bandit. You will see a king in Yorubaland rubbishing the entire history of his own forebearers, his own ancestors. No consequences. Simply because, as usual, everything is so corrupt. Everything corruption touches, it destroys. Corruption touches your tradition, it destroys it. It touches your culture, it destroys it. It touches your value system, it destroys it. Now we have a bunch of criminals, right, representing this rich culture and tradition. And then they will look and say, about our culture, if you forget that, forget what? So the process has become so compromised that rather than have the custodian of the value of Yorubaland, what we now have are political obas. Political obas, just like you have your judiciary so compromised by the political criminals. And today, justice is for the highest bidder, justice for sale. That's exactly what we have now experienced. Like, it was supposed to be, when I was growing up, right, being a royal father, at least I witnessed the installation of a king in my hometown. When we had to kind of like go visit the king, the soon to be crowned king, in a place called Ikwebi. Ikwebi is a place where they take a prince to, a soon to be crowned king, where all the normal, teachings, the rituals, the sacrifices. Now, let's even put the sacrifices apart. Ikwebi is a place where to become a king, right? Even if you are not properly trained by your family, it is a place you are going to stay for 21 days, for 3 weeks. And then this is a place where you will be taught about everything that has to do with this stool you are about to occupy, the importance of it, the do's and don'ts, stuff that will continue to remind you the responsibility before you, the responsibility that is now falling on your shoulder, and the reason why you can't fail. But look at us today. It is so painful enough that majority of this generation now, at least majority of this new generation or this younger generation, they are never, ever going to experience this value system. Today, education in Yorubaland is almost like a waste of time. They used to tell us that if you want to be out of poverty, for example, your only easy way or easy path out of poverty is to get education. And then we watch them. They destroy the educational value in that system, in that country. Yorubaland, the land of the free education, the famous one that produced, or should we say that lifted millions of families out of the colonially imposed poverty, only for those who benefited from that same free education. Free, not just free education, free and quality education in Yorubaland, only for them to, to burn that bridge. Today, it's like a waste of time. Where you that did everything right to get educated, now you are finding it so difficult to lead a meaningful life. And then you see those who chooses the path of criminality, living large. And you look at yourself and you're like, what else? What exactly is the advantage of being educated? Now, education has now become, in Yorubaland, education has now become something that is a mockery. It's almost a mockery. And those who are supposed to be the elders, the leaders, the ones who are supposed to hold the hands of the young ones, they themselves, they have become so greedy, so self-centered that they want to own the world. If they are not fighting to own the commonwealth of the people, they are there busy selling off the land. Selling off the land that they inherited from their own forebearers. And not because they want to use the money for any other thing than to marry more wives, become a chief, host host different parties. The younger ones are looking at them and they are learning so fast that the level of desperation in the younger people in Yorubaland today has more or less like surpassed those of their own leaders, the people they are looking up to. Get rich. Just get rich. Nobody cares how you make it. Just make it. Go and do Yahoo. Go and do ritual. Go and do this. Go, These are like strange things in strange times. When people like us were growing up, there were value. And like I said, I'm not an old person, right? This month, I'm going to turn 41. I'm not old. Maybe I'm getting older now anyway. I'm worried. I am worried that those who are supposed to be our, our torch bearers, those who were supposed to be looking up to, whether in the space, in the political space, or in the normal traditional space, or in the business climate, or what have you, everyone has become so compromised that you yourself will know, for you to make it out of this dungeon, then you must actually get involved in one shady deal or the other. Royal fathers are selling lands. They have become omonile. Royal fathers, they are hiding the illegal miners who are contaminating their environment. The royal fathers, who are supposed to actually be the bastion of hope for the people, they have become so compromised that the people are just on their own. This is a time that should call for sober reflection. The best of the Yorubas, majority of them have left the place. Those who have not left are in the mood of, they are in the mode of getting out. Everyone just want to get out of that place. Though Nigeria is not helping, fine. But where is that Omoluabi? That singular Omoluabi. The saddest part is that the people that have destroyed Yorubaland or destroying Yorubaland, they are also demanding respect. How do we explain to the children to the younger generation that the value that was supposed to be the real value of us have been so compromised and lost. The people that are supposed to be on the podium speaking to us, they have become the ones behind all our problems. And all they care about is what they can get just now. Yeah? In your state, which is causing that one is causing controversy right now. Yeah? The kingmakers accused of collecting bribe, and then now they are going to have a political laughing. A political laughing that is only going to be loyal to his own political godfathers. Not ever going to be loyal to the Yorubaland or the Oyo people. And we have them everywhere. They are everywhere. If you go to Ogbomoso, similar thing has happened. If you go to Iwo, it's the same. If you go to so many of these prominent Yorubaland, you will get the same treatments. And only a few places that people are still doing things traditionally and with the same value. And that is fast eroding as well. It's like fast, it's kind of becoming extinct. It's like the political class are waiting for the death of some of these ancient Yoruba stools before they turn them into their political tools. This is me just ranting though, right? Because it is more concerning that we are all going to wake up one day and then we are going to ask ourselves, how did the Yorubaland become this? How? I was on the phone to a friend yesterday, and I've not spoken to him for since we left secondary school 23 years ago. Or is one of the viewers of this Mayegun's Diary Political. Yeah? So he called in. Finally, we had a chat. And we're there for about 2-3 hours. And we're just talking randomly about almost everything. Then he told me, he said, do you remember when it used to be a thing that the moment you leave secondary schools, you begin to, to look for admission to get into the university or any school? Shall want to enter school? I said, I remember. He said, that is no longer the case anymore. It is no longer the case. If you manage to actually finish secondary school in Yorubaland right now, the next thing is how to become a Yahoo boy or just go do something, go make money. Because those who actually, you see, gone are the days when people would pay through their noses for students, right? They would do everything. They would do anything just to become a graduate. Now, you see majority of them now graduate for 15 years, 10 years, who have never worked in their lives. In that same Yorubaland. And then they are looking at these younger ones in their 20s, right? Almost 22, 23, who is a senior Yahoo boy. What about the girls? I mean, I don't know if this is just me reaching the age that those before us also reached, and I don't think we were this kind of like a desperate and criminally when I was in my own 20s. I don't think so. Because as they say, Shebori tabi shewe no lele. Ori tabi shewe oti kuro lorun wa ashi, 23 years ago. Your goal as a secondary school graduate was to actually get into the university, get into any school. Because to you, that is your pathway to success. If you can become a graduate, then you're going to kind of look for a job, and then that's it. But that's not the case anymore. You see educated people, educated people living wretchedly, and then you see illiterates, criminals. You see criminals who are living like kings. And many of them are finding their ways into politics. They are becoming your reps. They are becoming your senators. They are becoming your governors. Criminals that will do anything and everything for power. Nothing legally. This is our reality. And where do you think this is going to lead us? Now you are seeing criminals becoming your kings. questionable people with questionable characters, they are now in position of authority. And it doesn't really matter what you do. Just become something. Like, just go make money. I am worried. I am worried for my children because they would have to live and exist in this same world with all these characters who have no value, who have no, who have no real integrity or value. People worship money and they will do anything and everything. I am worried. I am. Because I am not going to actually create a different world for my own children. They would need to exist in this same world with them. What about our girls? Eh? I remember that it used to be a thing of shame for them to call you Ron's girl when I was growing up. Ron's girl. Today, parents knows that their own children are doing olosho, selling their bodies for what? To make the matter worse. You are seeing young girls, their lives are being cut short, their body parts are being taken by other desperate young boys who believes that they can actually, use human being for money ritual to become rich. They want to drive a 2005, 2006 Benz. And they will have to kill somebody for that. Somebody's daughter. We are seeing it everywhere. The desperation, all for one thing, money. Those who want to be king, right? They don't care about their subjects. They don't care about their people. All they care about is going to be what they are going to make from being a king, and then subservient to the political class, as long as they can drive these used cars. They have different websites right now where people are selling their nude. But when we were younger, they do runs. They call it runs. Today they call it Olosho, OS. OS is not operating system. Operating system. It's Olosho. And parents who knows that there are even parents who are calling their own son-in-law that you better go and do Yahoo. You need to go and do Yahoo if you want to take care of my daughter. Where is that sophistication of Yoruba? Where is that thing that makes us stand out as, man, he's a Yoruba man? Like you are so proud. Akuntasholu, ọkùnrin, ọmọlúwàbí, ọmọlúwàbí. Where people are so proud of their own academic excellence. They are so proud of their, of their business acumen. They are so proud of their industrious nature and the rest of that. People who are, Yoruba has traveled all over the place to acquire academic excellence. Only for us to end up being led by a bunch of criminals. That is why somebody like myself will never actually find it anyway, patronizing to ignore everything, the baggage and baggages of a Tifnumbu. They will tell you, run to your humanity, worship. Remember the son of whom you are. No matter what you have in life, be very careful of what you get yourself involved, or what you get yourself involved in. Because if anything should happen to your name, your family will disown you. Because you cannot come and destroy the name the family has been building for a long time. Nobody cares about the family name anymore. Nobody really cares. Maybe few people does. I do. But somebody like me is now going to be seen as an old school. About you are just old school, Jare. Like, how did we get here? How? Because, this didn't happen overnight. It took 25 years of this fake democracy to push us here. And there is no sign that we are coming out of this. We now have those who are bragging that they can't bow for any Yoruba Oba, a chief imam. Now pushing that they want a Sharia in Yorubaland, as if to say it is not the same Yorubaland that the Christians or the Muslims and then the traditionalists have been coexisting for years, for decades, if not centuries. That's identity crisis. If you go to Ilorin, those ones were attacking the traditionalists. They are attacking traditionalists. They call them elebo, and this and that. They must not do ebo. What the heck? And yes, Ilorin was supposed to be a Yorubaland, but today you will be hearing from the person from Ilorin speaking Yoruba clearly. Yoruba lon solenu. But tell them that are you Yoruba? They begin to foam in the mouth. They will begin to give you different explanations that you say, man, are you a Yoruba or are you Fulani? Tell us, which one are you? Gambari, Abi Fulani, Abi Yoruba? They will tell you that they are not Yoruba. I mean, Yoruba, they lost all. They resist anything Yoruba, except the language. Meanwhile, they are in the middle. This Fulani blood that is in them, in some of them, that Fulani blood doesn't even make them Fulani. Because the Fulani themselves probably see them as Yoruba. You can be in that state of confusion in Yorubaland, and they are everything anti-Yoruba 100%. You know? In the process, they are interested in subverting the will of the Yoruba, the will, the value, the culture, the tradition that has to do with Yorubaland. They want to subvert that. Because to them, it is religion first, before anything else. In Yorubaland. I mean, I'm just saying, there are people like that, and this is now spreading. It is kind of spreading. That's why you see somebody that will tell you that we are first. Islam is before Yoruba. I say, what? How? When? And then they are pushing different agendas that makes it more or less like being Yoruba is like, it's a filth. Like, carry your Yoruba stuff away. Say, Yoruba de lo so lenu yi, Baba. How can you be so self-hating, hating yourself enough that you wouldn't mind to subvert their will, that will of being Yoruba? Now they are now making people like that to occupy important positions in Yorubaland. They are not loyal to Yorubaland. They are not, and they will never be. And it's just going to be a matter of time. I mean, it's already happening anyway. But simply because they are yet to become the majority, or that kind of ideology, they are yet to become the majority. And that is why we have not started, I mean, they haven't started probably slaughtering us. Hey, how did we lose all of our value that way? People, I told people, see, if anybody wants you to hate any other tribe in Yorubaland, check them very well. They are the enemies of Yoruba. If you see any Yoruba that wants you to blame people who have nothing to do with you, whether to blame the Igbos or to blame the Hausas or to blame the Fulanis and the rest of that, I mean, except those Fulani terrorists too. Because me, I am always very clear. I don't have any problem with any Fulani, and I won't. Let them day their day, we'll day our day. Now Nigeria force all of us together. And the day the whole place get broken up, everybody will kind of have to carry their own gari. You get that? Bear your own papa name. But until then, you see those ones who are carrying AK-47, kidnapping our people, ransacking our villages, and then destroying our farms and our people from on their way to their markets and all of that stuff. Those are enemies of Yorubas, and that won't automatically make me hate the Fulanis or I don't. But if I have the power, if I have the will to crush and destroy those ones who are hiding in our forest, I will do that without blinking. Yes, they will be exterminated without any kind of like a second guess. But take a look at it this way. Since the time they claim to have started this democracy, it has been the Yorubas ruling Yorubaland. And I have never, for once, in the last 25 years, seen those who have had the opportunity of being governor or senator or reps or assembly or local government. In Yorubaland, I have never seen them for once come together to say we want to demand for so and so for Yorubaland, especially the autonomy of us being able to actually run our own affair. Not once. Not once. They have been the ones in charge of, collecting taxes in Yorubaland. They have been the ones awarding projects in Yorubaland, or travel around every part of Yorubaland today and come back and tell me that these guys are not Omuali Yoruba. Go on and look at our infrastructures all over the place. Go on and see those who are selling our lands. Who are they? Who are they selling the lands to? Right? Go on and see they are Yorubas who have been selling all those things. Awolowo, created over 6 different, farm settlements across Yorubaland. There's almost no part of Yorubaland that didn't have their own farm settlements. But for 25, Awolowo only was in charge of, do you know that Awolowo was only in charge of Yorubaland for just about 6 or so years? From 1957, so 1954, 55 to 1962, before Kasala busted in 1963. Awolowo's government of the Western region was just in charge for just about maybe 6 years. Most of the roads he constructed, some of them are still there today. Well, farm settlements that Awolowo started, not till today. There's none of these supposed Yoruba governors or Yoruba senators or Yoruba reps that has kind of made it a mandatory to say, as Yorubas, yeah, this was supposed to be our collective sort of, patrimony. Our development should be even. In fact, for the sake of our people, you get? Rather, they have ensured that infrastructure of Yorubaland became obsolete. Our people are living in squalor, right? Our people are living in poverty, while they have been the richest in Yorubaland, being richest because you are politicians. But they want you to possibly believe. They want you to believe that tribalism, religious supremacy, hatred, and all of that against other people is the only way to make you Yoruba. And some lunatics on social media claiming to be Yoruba conservative, those ass-licking, unbuded slaves, abobakus of Tifnumbu and gang. Well, it is easier for them to kind of point fingers at other people. And yet, this is my own argument, right? If Nigeria indeed, which is not working for us as Yorubas, right? If these guys really care about Yorubaland, have you ever seen them protested the continued subjugation of Yoruba people in Nigeria? Have you ever seen these guys protested that? They are more interested in political offices, political appointments, enriching themselves, and that's all that matters to them. While our people are left in a state of total, dejection. It's a sad situation, and I do hope that some of you who have a chance or who would have chances or a shot at leadership one time or one way or the other, you will remember that you are Yoruba first before Nigeria. You are Yoruba first before your religion. And the moment you kind of hold that to your heart, then you will realize and understand the responsibility that the leadership is actually going to thrust on you. Understand that it is a long shot. It's actually like something that is probably never going to happen, that any of you who really care about Yorubaland will have a shot or have a chance at leadership. I'm saying it to you today. If you ever come across my video, just remember that the reason why we are where we are today is because those who don't give a damn about Yorubaland have been pushed to the position of a leadership, position of authority, and they have cared only for themselves, while the land that is meant to be the land of their own forebearers, they have left it in desolate, they have left it in penury, and they don't care. And the only thing that tells about them is that they are the Omuale Yorubaland. They wanted to go and pray for a better place. How? While they are busy desecrating it, destroying it. As a Yoruba man, I am ashamed of calling this set of leaders, whether they are, whether they are like royal fathers or political, or politicians, or they are the elite of Yorubaland. I am so ashamed of them, but I believe if the right teaching is pushed out there, yes, this can change. The table can turn. I'm calling on those of you who are like the real Omoluabi, the real Yorubas worldwide, to think about this. Our land has been taken over by savages, by bastards. The once peaceful, progressive Yoruba land is now being led by a bunch of criminals, bunch of bastards, leading themselves as Yorubas, changing our trajectory, impoverishing our people, and desecrating our different, traditional stools and values. They are destroying our values. Money is what they worship now. Money, title is what really matters to them now. Not exact, not the people, not the land. So if we become extinct, if we become barbarians, it's not because there are no good people. It is because more and more people have become so selfish, evil. So until the good ones among us actually rises. It's unfortunate. So, but let me show you another thing. I think it was 2 days ago, right? Talking about selfishness as well, right? 2 days ago. There is one airline called the IBOM here. That's the Akwa Ibom state government airline. Okay. So passengers were supposed to leave Uyo, I think for Lagos, and others who had their own connecting flights. It's like you have to travel from Uyo maybe to Lagos, okay, and then you have connecting flights to Abuja, and you have connecting flight to London, New York, and all of that. So they said that the NCAA, they have a rule that you must have a certain weight of your luggage. So if your luggage is above a certain so they would have to possibly send it to you. You can't travel with it. If it has no place in the baggage compartment, right, which is the normal rule for safety. So there's a certain weight that an aircraft can actually lift. But selfishly, a lady was said to have rejected that. She insisted that she would have to carry her own baggage, right? She would want to travel with it. So people started begging her, no, don't do this, okay? Like, give it to them, they will bring it to you. No. She insisted. Meanwhile, as they were on the tarmac, okay, they were supposed to be the last flights from that airport. They told them that they were going to shut the airport at such time, and they needed to move now. The pilot, everybody came to beg this lady. She insisted. That's quite strange, by the way, because normally, if you become unruly, right, on the plane, they will deplane you. They will remove you from the plane. You are not going anywhere, and you can't stop others from flying. But somehow, this lady delayed them for more than an hour or so until they actually said, well, the airport was shut, was closed for the night, so everybody will need to deplane. Okay? and the flight was cancelled. That was when the other passengers became so angry, irate, to the point said that they wanted to lynch the lady. Now, the airport authority, or let me say the Ibom here, security or review, that should have removed her in the first place long time ago. There are those who now came to her rescue to lead her out of the plane, while the angry passengers kind of were attempting to lynch her. I saw that video and I said I'm going to share that with you this evening. Let's watch it.
A woman, she's inside, wearing white shirt and glasses, refusing a whole flight to fly because all her bags were not on the airline. That is her. That is the one woman that has stopped a whole plane from moving. I don't live in New York. I don't live in New York. This is what has happened. Many of us, we don't live in New York. We don't live in New York. See us coming down. Because of one person. See all of us on ground. Some of us came from far for this flight. Some people don't live in Akwa Ibom, and it's getting late. It's night. We are waiting for her to come down. Let her come down. Why is she still in the plane? Why is she still in the plane? Why is she still there? Why is she still in the plane? Why is she still in the plane? She go come down now. Let's plane go carry only her. So what time are we moving? Ibom Air. I don't know. Where are you people lodging us? Where? I have a 5 a.m. flight out of Abuja tomorrow. I don't live in Nigeria. Stay in New York. What's the accommodation plan for us? First of all, can we have everybody? We are waiting for her to come down. I don't know why she's still there. Why is she, as she was saying, and I won't agree, why is she still inside the plane? Why is she staying? Why wasn't she deported? Why wasn't she deported? And the pilot said, I cannot solve the matter with her, so I'm going to cancel the flight because we couldn't solve it. And we have security in the airport, and we couldn't deport one passenger. When I was coming, all 4 of my bags were left behind in Abuja. I did not stop the plane from moving. She insisted all her bags was inside. She didn't leave them. They would have taken it. People, we are all coming down. See all of us.
Please, I'm begging you, please. Calm down, temper, yeah?
Okay. Security, airport me.
Yes, no, we have, man, but please, nobody knew why it happened. Could be with something better. Please, let's temper.
You know I've lost my ticket with British Airways. Because I'm flying tomorrow morning by 5. It is now a no-show for me. How am I going to get, who is going to give me the money that I'm going to pay for my ticket again? Will Ibom A give me back my...
They will not. They were ready to fly. They had to fly. They didn't...
Can you tell this aircraft to move?
They can't move. Wait there, can't move now.
So I have lost a whole ticket. I've lost a ticket right now.
I understand what you completely, but then Who knows why?
There is no who knows why. Pilot had announced we are about going, only to hear fracas down.
That's our problem. Nobody knows why. It could be something that is saving you, something we never imagined could happen.
Let her come. We are waiting for her.
No, please.
We are waiting for her.
Therefore, don't allow you to beat somebody.
She will follow us inside the hall. She will follow us inside the hall.
This is the honor.
This is the lady that stopped this flight from going to Abuja. I'm posting it on my Instagram page, and I'm going to tag Ibom Air. I am posting it on my Instagram page, and we are going to tag Ibom Air. Look at her. You on board a whole flight for one human being. We are following you. Better face this camera now, because it's going on Instagram. It's going on Twitter. Look at her. Everybody has got in line. Why didn't you deboard her? No, we are following her. See her, Gaddy. She see her. If my phone drops, if you drop my phone, where's the one? See her.
God will kill you. A bad woman. You can't be a lawyer.
Only God knows what she planned for this flight.
You cannot be a lawyer.
This is her. Because of her, I've missed my British Airways flight. My British Airways flight tomorrow morning, I've missed it because of you. Are you going to give me almost £2,000 to pay for that? Are you going to give me a woman?
The impunity in that contraption is legendary. Like, my own question is, so they had security. I mean, they have security. So how come they allowed her to waste all their time? When she was becoming unruly, they are not flying, and she's not going to let them take a luggage, down from the plane. That is an unruly behavior. The next thing is you will get the security to remove her, and everybody can continue their flights. But Nigeria is a place where time is. Where I got that video from, I saw people who were saying, let's just accept it, Jare. You don't know what God has used, what God used that for. What if the plane fly and then you crash and everybody die? It is better. May everybody just thank God. It's a typical Nigerian way. People have lost a valuable time. They have lost money. They have, and more than money, a lot of them have actually lost, jobs. There are those who claim that they were going to Abuja to actually, take on a job to, that particular. So now they are not going to be able to. Impunity in the system. The contraption, by the way. It runs in the system. So yesterday we saw the video of one Ashiri Imam from Iseyin. They said he is the chief Imam of Iseyin. I wonder why he hasn't been kind of like removed by now. Who said that if they become angry, if they should get angry, that they are more than the people of Iseyin as Muslims. The king was saying that they should prostrate for him, that they are like the father, that chief imam is the father of a king. Chief imam, Baba Obani. As chief imam, we don't prostrate for kings. Right? So somebody responded. This Alaji.
Kábíyèsí Asẹ́yìn tìlú Ìsẹ́yìn, ọmọ ọkọ tó mọ ipò ara rẹ̀, tó sọ fún àwọn agùnmátẹ̀ pé ẹ ti ẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ jáde láàfin mi ná, ẹ ti ẹ̀ kọ́ bọ́ta ná. Nígbà tí èyí dìdìrín ó máa wá sọ̀rọ̀, ó ní chief imam Ìsẹ́yìn ní bàbá ọba Àsẹ́yìn. Nígbà tí chief imam Ìsẹ́yìn wá jẹ́ bàbá ọba Àsẹ́yìn tó jẹ́ bàbá Àsẹ́yìn, kò ṣe ránṣẹ́ sí Àsẹ́yìn kó wá báwọn lé. Ìyẹn bẹ́ẹ̀, ó tún ní ẹ̀sìn ìsìláàmù kì í ṣe ẹ̀sìn àtọ̀húnrìnwá nísẹ́yìn. Ṣé Ìsẹ́yìn ni wọ́n ti wá bí ìsìláàmù ńgbà náà tí ìbá ṣe àtọ̀húnrìnwá, àbí pé ẹ̀sìn ti yí ọ lórí, ó ti pọ̀ ọ́ ní làákàyè pọ̀ tó lójútùú ẹ̀ mọ́? Ó tún sọ wípé ẹ̀yin mùsùlùmí lẹ̀yin pọ̀ jù nísẹ́yìn, tẹ́yin bá sì bínú tápá tọba tìjòyè àti gbogbo àwọn ẹlẹ́sìn tó wà ńbẹ̀ yòókù apá àwọn ọ̀ká ẹ̀yin tẹ́yin bá bínú. Ìwọ kan náà ló tún sọ wípé àwọn ẹlẹ́bọ wọ́n dín bàǹtẹ́ ẹ̀yà fáwọn Christian àtẹ̀yin mùsùlùmí. Ó sọ ohun tí wọ́n ṣe tí wọ́n fi dín bàǹtẹ́ ẹ̀yà fún yín o, yàtọ̀ sí pé ẹ pọ̀ jù wọ́n lọ, wọ́n tún wá ń dín bàǹtẹ́ ẹ̀yà fún yín. Èwo ni ìwọ náà kan náà ló ní ìwọ mọ̀ wípé kùránì yìí jóná níbi bíi méjì mẹ́ta bí lè bá jó kùránì yìí jóná, bó ló ṣe wá jóná nígbà tẹ́ni yìí fi ná sí. Kábíyèsí.
Sorry if you don't understand Yoruba, right? Let me kind of summarize what he said. So the old man is picking the point that lunatic, uttered yesterday. The one that claimed to be chief imam that doesn't bow for king. So the man said, if you claim that you are more powerful than the king, how come instead of you going to the king's palace, the Asenyi's palace, when he summoned you, why didn't you just tell him to come and see you at home, since you are more powerful than him? Secondly, you said that you are more than that Islam is more than other religions in the saying. But how come that the same you was lamenting that the traditionalists, that they beat you up, right? That they beat all of you up on one occasion like that? Is that not contradictory? Then another one is that if you claim that the Islamic religion is not new, like you are more than the other people in that place, how come, again, that's similar to the traditionalists dealing with them? So the point here is that is a deluded man, and they have been looking for means to start religious crisis in Yorubaland. And from what we have gathered, right, from Ilorin coming down to Ogbomoso, then to Oyo, and to this is saying as well, right? These are places where they have been spending money infiltrating the towns, paying some of these miscreants who are claiming, right, that Yorubaland should be Islamized. These are a bunch of clowns, by the way, miscreants. Okay? That if you know what they have done or they are doing in that axis of Yorubaland, honestly speaking, a lot of us will probably begin to look for these perpetrators one by one and deal with them. It's like they want to trigger a religious crisis in Yorubaland so that somehow they can use that to justify whatever money they are being promised or they are given to them. But if you look at them as well, they are a bunch of ragtag miscreants, old and young. So the man was telling that you should have possibly tried this or tried that and see what will happen. The Christians, the Muslims, even the traditionalists, everybody coexists in Yorubaland. And those fanatics are beginning to say the reason why people are claiming that the Yorubas are tolerant, Yorubas are not, fundamentalist and the rest of that, was because the Yoruba Muslims have been forced to accept, right, that they are just Muslims by name. Do you understand? Like Yoruba, the reason why people are saying Yorubas are receptive, Yorubas are tolerant, religious, this and that, was because the Yorubas, the Yoruba Muslims, have been blackmailed. Yoruba Muslims, they have been forced to accept other people, like, instead of them to practice Islam, the way Islam is supposed to be practiced. You know what they mean? Is that there should be Sharia, and you as a Muslim, you should not be seen to be entertaining any other religions and what have you. Because in Islam, you have to make sure that anybody who is not a Muslim is a kafir, is an unbeliever, and there's something you have to do to the unbelievers, which is what they are doing in northern Nigeria. If you, by any mistake, go and build a church in Sokoto, and these Islamists, they get to see that you are trying to build a church in Sokoto, or like in Yorubaland, you will see a mosque here, you will see a church there, you may even see a shrine there, right? If you try that in Sokoto, they will burn down the place, and they can even start a religious riot, start killing people. Because to them, that means that's a direct assault on their religion. But in Yorubaland, no. Everybody just kind of do their own thing. And with that, they believe that the Muslims in Yorubaland, they are just Muslims by name. Princess is a Muslim, you know. But if to say in northern Nigeria, they've all it is a princess, like the feed us to now. Because the same princess is like, to them, princess is just a Muslim by name. So you get normal. Princess shouldn't, you know, you will see princess on camera. And some of you will be like, oh, princess is so beautiful. Say princess, very beautiful. No, princess was supposed to put on a Buddha. I mean, they call that thing. Hijab. No be hijab. They're supposed to cover from head to toe. So for princess to open her hair, for all of us to see, na haram. Do you understand what that means? So this is the kind of idea that they believe should be erased in Yorubaland. This is why these fanatics are trying to start what is called the religious war in Yorubaland, using the same political moves, looking for who is going to be politically aligned to them, and then push this religious supremacy. And they won't stop. They will not stop until they achieve it. I was reading it somewhere where they are like talking about, the Muslims are supposed to Muslims are practicing their religion. It's unfortunate that this Sharia not, for real, they don't even see any of you from the southern part of Nigeria who claim to be Muslims. They don't see you as Muslims. They don't think you are practicing real Muslim, real Islam. This is why they told Tifnubu that, nobody really, how can you be a Muslim and you are married to a Christian, a pastor? Abieti Bagbe, these fanatics actually put a fatwa on Remi Werepe. You know that? Yeah, they said that a rat should be stoned to death because she's a pastor. Tifnubu's wife. How many of you remember that? The last year, yeah, some Islamic group in northern Nigeria, they put a fatwa on Remi Werepe. They said she is the Ogbonge Kafiri around Tifnubu. Not only that she's a Christian, she's even a pastor. She must be stoned to death. For real, this is true. They told Tifnubu that Tifnubu is not a real Muslim. If he wants them to support him, he needs to choose another Muslim. That's what brought about the Muslim ticket in northern Nigeria. And I've heard that many times that if they go to any mosque and the Yoruba man is the one leading the prayer, especially the Fulani, not the Hausas, because when I was a Muslim myself in Odogbolu, all of us always gathered in Odogbolu Central Mosque. I mean, things have really changed though. When I was growing up, Papa, some of the things that are now, like some of the stuff that have now become mainstream, religion or politics or tribe or ethnic or all those things, they didn't really exist. Or maybe I just never paid attention. But I remember Umoru. I remember Falalu. I remember, I'm trying to remember some few names. The Hausa. All of us always kind of, yeah, Umoru, Haruna, Muhammad, Abubakar, Falalu. These are some of the northerners that lived in Odogbolu, walked in Odogbolu. They even have their, you know, that, what do they call that? A provision, no, corner shop. I kind of call it corner shop. Where you have, you know, Aboki where they sell everything you wanted. mix up. No, yeah. Central Mosque. We all go to the same Central Mosque. Mashalachi Jimo. In Odogbolu. You will see Hausa there. You will see Yoruba. You will see everybody, all of us praying together, but not Fulani. I can't remember any Fulani. But now I'm hearing that the Northerners they will never stay behind the Yoruba man that is leading a prayer. I was like, really? I never observed that. Yes, they usually have their own mosque, no mosque, like in front of their shop like that. You can see about 6 or 10 or even 20 of them. All right, praying at the same time. That doesn't mean that you won't see 1 or 2 of them in a mosque. In my own mosque, in the Idera Mosque in Odogbolu, then the Odogbolu Central Mosque, I've seen, I'm not daft. I remember having some of them there that we pray together. But now I am hearing that if you are a Southerner and a Muslim, they will never pray behind anyone that is not, like, really? Yeah? God bless you, Jare. Metaba. Is that what you call it? Metaba. How they call them corner shop. Yes, later we can't get me shy. Those ones where they cook noodles. And they will make you tea. Usually you don't see all those ones except during Ramadan. What did they usually sell for us or sell to us back then was like a tuwo. Yeah, we get to eat their tuwo, luru. Very tasty. And I befriended Falalu. I befriended another one was called Tai, because they were twins. I befriended them that I was just eating tuwo for free because they have, their dad had about 6 wives, right? And they themselves were like about 20 of them. So the boys are always going to the farm to help their father, or they will go to the farm when they are not going to school. Because we are also going to school. We went to school together. Muslim primary school, Odogbolu. You will see them there. Hausa, Yoruba, everybody, Igbo. Enjoy Gete, from all over the place. So Odogbolu. And some of them are like farm hands, helping, working as a laborers. But things have changed, man. But it changed, gone. Anyway, that is why we are now saying that before we start killing ourselves, it is ideal for us to go our separate ways now, so that anyone who find themselves in different in any of these countries, if I decided to go to Arewanistan, for example, right, and if they decided to keep the name, the Nigeristan, for them in Arewa North, or if I want to go to the Kwara Republic, or whatever name the Middle Belt chooses, then I would have to abide by the rules and their own laws there, right? So same thing if I have to go to Afghanistan, Nigeristan, or Arewanistan, whatever it is, right? If I decide to go there for their visa, I will have to obey or abide by all their rules, right? And if I also want to go to Biafra or any other nation like that, within this space, I will have to abide by their law and their rules. Any country without a law means that there are no sinners or there are no sins. I think that's how they put that. This young man claimed that he was briefly kidnapped in Lagos. His story.
Adeniji under bridge. They took that way and parked under the bridge. It was pitch dark. They brought me out and they started using knife, cutlass, different things on me. Now I'm 45. I'm an African, so of course I don't take anything for granted. I don't take chances. So I'm 45. So when they saw that the stabbing attempts on my body, the knife was not entering, their dagger, their kitchen knives, their cutlass, they tried to cut me. About 3 of them held my neck, another 2 held my hand to the back, and they put, you can see lacerations on my neck. They put knife on my neck to try and, slash my neck and slaughter me, but it wasn't penetrating. So I just had the leader telling them in Hausa that they should lie me down and use their boots. About 3 of them were wearing army uniforms, so they should use their boots to crush my head. So about 6 of them held me hand, leg, and 2 were using their boots to hit my eyes, hit my nose. They just wanted to knock me out. But so after some minutes, I just realized that I was getting dizzy and I was about to, faint. And once that happens, these people will take me and do what they want. So I reached out for my bag, which was on the floor, and nobody was noticing. They didn't notice it throughout all this thing. I used that, see blood from my mouth. I'm even bleeding internally. So I took out that knife with my right hand and I started, waving it in different directions. So it caught one of them in the tummy. His tummy got busted, one in the neck, another one in the eye, and they started bleeding profusely. So their leader was telling them that maybe they have gotten all these remaining ones who are asleep. Let them carry them and go and deliver them. They should leave me that at the end of the day I will die there with what they have done to me. So they all rushed off and this is me, bleeding on my throat. My nose is broken. My eye inside, something is fundamentally wrong. My eyes, my mouth. I just want to, clean up and then go to the hospital for medical attention. People, it is real. All the people I just talked about were northerners. These people have entered even Lagos State. They have entered Lagos. They have penetrated Lagos. They picked Adeni.
That's somebody's personal experience. And guess what? I believe him. The fact that he lived to tell this story is just, should be a clarion call. Okay? We know before now that there are sleeper cells of all these kind of terrorists in southern part of Nigeria. And they are not just Fulanis. There are Hausas among them, or better still, because they speak Hausa, automatically will make us believe that they are Hausas too. But these northerners, there are sleeper cells in southern part of Nigeria that we have it on a very good authority that what they are waiting for is a signal that if everything breaks out today, there is a chance that we will likely not be able to defend ourselves. There is a chance. I'm not saying it is like certain that we won't be able to defend ourselves. But the thing is that a lot of our people have become so weak, and we have also become people who have been desensitized, insensitive of what is going on around us, because we are so preoccupied with what we are going to eat, where the next food is going to come from. There was a time that they had to arrest some of these guys in Lagos, Okada riders, who are also going about with pieces of weapons, guns, underneath the seat of their own Okada. All they would need, if anything happens, is just to bring these pieces together, couple them together, and that's it. AK-47 is loaded. But we have become so desensitized enough that if it hasn't happened to you, then it is not happening. So he lived to tell this story. I can say congratulations to him. So still talking about insecurity. Tifnumbu's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Taga, right, has rejected the idea of inviting mercenaries in fighting the terrorists up north, in his own words.
In leading other countries in our region, and I would even say on the continent at large, in addressing challenges to peace and security. And we do this whenever we partner with other countries and have their support, including major powers that are outside of our region, outside of Africa. And we appreciate that sort of approach. And this is why we work well with countries like China. Where we have a problem is when you can see that whenever Nigeria is left out of such arrangements, it becomes more challenging. And it's not just a one-off thing. It's not a fluke. It is because of Nigeria's place and position on the continent and in our region. And that's why we take a firm stand and say, let us work together towards solving our problems by ourselves. Let us shun this idea of allowing others to come in to solve our problems for us. So private military companies, as far as we're concerned, it doesn't matter whether they're from north, south, east, west. We don't think it is going to provide the panacea. But when you work with us, then we're able to lead others in solving the problem. And also, we want to work with countries like China in domesticating production of military equipment, both kinetic and non-kinetic. This is what we're looking for, so that we don't have to go out looking to procure, and delays, and so many rules and regulations. We need to be able to produce locally. Nigeria is a very responsible country, working with the constitution, and that's why, and we've never had any expansionist tendencies, which is why others repose so much confidence in us and in our leadership. And we will continue to work with countries such as China in addressing these challenges, and rely on countries such as China also to work with us towards ensuring that private military companies, outside interference remains outside. Thank you.
Right. It is still we will, not we are doing so, and so. So it looks promising, right? Well, it always looks promising. But it's all talk, no action. Okay? I saw a video from Gwari in Kaduna, where it was, you remember a few days ago, I shared a clip where the Kaduna government claimed that they've reached an agreement with the Fulani terrorists in Gwari and some other areas in Kaduna, where the terrorists, the Fulani terrorists, have now become repentant terrorists. They've repented and agreed to release some of their captives in embracing the peace deal amnesty offered them, called repentant terrorism, something. So I saw a video yesterday, a bit of coverage, so to say, by the Arise News, claiming that a lot of people have now started returning back to Gwari, and and you can tell that it's a psyop, right? It's like a special kind of like a project to make the idea of repentant terrorists repenting, all right, to make it sound pretty much like a lucrative and a very good idea. But to me, I have seen this before. Or if you probably don't know, we have seen this before. The only repentant terrorists are the dead terrorists. If anybody wants to repent from their act of terrorism, the first thing is you actually make them take responsibility for all their crimes. They have killed people, kidnapped people. These are murderers. These are terrorists. They should be tried for their crimes. Then after, you can look into, oh, they've repented, but they still get punished for what they have done. In Borno State, they've had over 250,000 repentant terrorists, but that has never reduced the act of terrorism, because it is an industry. When politicians claim that they are repenting or they are rehabilitating repentant terrorists, it has never reduced the act of terrorism. Rather, it has increased it. Because it's obvious that apart from the media crew and the show off they always pull, right? It's always back to the status quo, to the point that the terrorists themselves always kind of have to go back to their old ways, their businesses. They never get punished, and whatever they are promised, they're never going to get it. So why should they come back and live under the promises of politicians, sort of? So I saw that earlier. But apart from this, there are other things. In Nigeria today, right, there is nothing called the middle class anymore. In fact, it is believed that those who were supposed to, those who were supposed to be rich have now become poor, that they are now they are now falling to the lower class level. And somebody believes that anarchy looms. Anarchy looms. Because you see those of you who are rich 2-3 years ago, and the inflation is already eating you so bad. You are already falling into that below poverty level slowly and slowly. Now it takes a lot to survive every month right now to give that your family the good standard of living that you have had for a while. And the worse things get, the more scary it has become for a lot of you. So this guy believes that when the shit finally hit the fan, that is when the anarchy looms. Listen to this.
Listen to this one, get your passport, dust them, keep them. Make sure your passport is up to date for a certain reason now. Now, this country, as we day like this now, the people we suppose they cry the most are laughing, which are the people where they on the poor side. This country, we are suffering from what you call collective depression. Everybody is depressed, but they don't want to talk. Now, why are they fear? Be say, the rich is no longer rich in Nigeria. Even the rich is now lower middle class. And the day that pot, the day that cup go fail, the day that whole pot where they boil with anger now, maybe government do something where go tip that balance off. What you see in this country will be a complete mess. Because that day, you're not going to be even poor against government. You're going to be poor against poor against rich, middle class against, then everybody against government. Everything, it will just be complete chaos. Because tell me why a cup of rice, foreign rice is 800, local rice is 500. A cup of rice. Tell me why. It doesn't make sense. Tell me why electricity bills, estimated billing is now heading to 200,000. Now, if you are rich in Nigeria, no, get as rich as you rich be. Whether you be chief priest or you be Bonner boy, rich as you rich be, you are spending at least. Of course, if you are Bonner boy there, man, you spend more. But if you're just rich, maybe you have less than 100 million in your account. Every month, put down at least 500,000 on fuel. Being that you spend mostly fuel 100k weekly, that's full tank. Put down 500k on fuel. Please, every month, put down at least 400,000 naira on feeding your family. That is if you are just cooking food of 15,000 naira every day, which is impossible. We know that to cook 3 square meal in a house, you can't tell me you're cooking food of 335 in a day or 4,000 per meal. To buy what you cook, maybe to cook good rice, you will spend at least 20,000 just one meal. So I'm just saying 500,000. Let's just be on the modest side in a month for feeding, but we know that it will at least reach 1 million. Just these two expenses, or minus bills, minus NEPA bill, minus any other thing, sundries, tissue paper, a myriad of bills. Just these two is 1.5 million every single month. Just these two. If you start adding a marriage of bills, there is no month you won't end up spending at least 4 million naira. How the hell are the poor people in Nigeria surviving? I have no idea. I legit have no idea. How are they surviving? It tells you something. Say they vex. Me too. Are they vex? It tells you, say, they are vexing. No matter you are seeing them, you think you are deceiving them with comedy. Bro, the day you go set. I go run. Everybody will run. Everybody. Even if you serve the puppets, they run. They run. You understand? They run. The day you go set. Bro, hunger is a very dangerous thing. Don't play with hunger. Listen to this one. Listen to.
It's a matter of time. Yes, let all of us continue to smile, to laugh, comedy. The day it go cast. I remember saying the same thing on this platform. I said, there are those of you right now that are still surviving, even though you are feeling the heat. But God is, Princess Bawoni, how will they survive? Well, we thank God, Jerry. God has been very faithful. God has been really, really good. Nigeria is not easy, but we thank God. We are still thanking God. When the real Bedu enter body for real, when the Bedu enter body, enter body. When the Bedu enter body, yes, enter body. I'm not going to tell anybody. You see that inflation on its own, the damages that inflation is actually causing. Everybody is feeling it in their own wallet. You are feeling it in your purse. And when you ask people, how are the people actually surviving? It's unimaginable. It's like unexplainable. But they are looking onto God. God is faithful. God has been very good. Everybody is doing everything they can just to stay afloat because they still can until when they can't. I'm not wishing you anything bad, but with the actions and inactions of Tinubu and his gang, propaganda is never going to save anybody. Propaganda can run a country that is completely mismanaged and run on lies. No, lies can't really run a country successfully. You still have to do some certain things right. Once those of you are still considering yourselves rich, begin to really lose it. Something is going to spark. Something is going to get triggered. Around that time, then you read, because right now, they have done the shege, sote, to even japa right now. It's almost impossible. Do you know how much it's going to cost you to japa? They will say you should go and look for 20 million. So go and look for 25 million to japa. 25 million. But if you get 25 million right now, japa won't even be on your mind right away. Even though there are those who have sold their properties, sold this, sold that, and just japa. Nigeria is destroying our people. There are those out of fear, worry, they've sold all their properties only for them to japa within a year or two. They are full of regrets. What kind of life is this? Depressed, confused, unhappy. So everybody is getting hot here and there. Now only person will come out to speak about their own. Now them you go feel like say, show what's to you, Baba, what's you pay, hello man. Being so scared of where is Nigeria headed? People out of fear, believing that people will look okay, they are looking all right in that contraption. Out of fear of we don't know where this is headed. They stole all they have in that place. Go and buy a visa. And then they go to wherever they were going to and their family. There are many families that have become torn apart right now. Husband and wife, they've divorced. They were looking fine. They were they were living fine in Nigeria. Out of this fear and all of that, they had to jackpot Nigeria, sold everything they have in that place. Chipe, only for them to get to wherever they headed, and they ended up having to what? To break up. I say, well, if you know what Nigeria is doing to people right now, separating families, destroying lives. Everybody last year. You see? They are telling you that their reform is that, the reform. We are doing a reform. Is a reform. Reform, Abi. Everybody masari to buy ish. However, here is the candidate of the SDP, Adebayo, who said, these guys are not ruling. They are businessmen. They are doing business. And that is why every time they pretended that they want to solve a problem, they are actually opening shop to make more money. In this latest interview with Sheung, he said, maybe it is time for Tinubu to stop blaming the past because you knew that things were actually really, really bad. So don't act and pretend that this is you just finding out. People are they already rejected APC, including you, Tifnumbu, but you forced yourself in only for you to make it worse and then blame the past. Listen to this.
The expectations for those who understand policy and governance. Anyone will know that before you enter into governance, you must have a vision driven by good intentions. From that, you have to have a strategy. Then put up a plan. From your plan, accountability comes and focus in delivering on those vision that you have. If you look at those dynamics and those templates that I've reeled out, would you say that this government has a clear-cut vision? Do they have good intentions? Because in that way, a lot of people would say they met a lot of rot on the ground. Things were terrible. But look, if we judge this government based on what has been met on the ground, there are those who believe that even if your likes had won the election, you would have experienced a horrible, terrible situation on the ground. Economy was in shambles. Insecurity was a major problem. Whichever person had won the election, a lot of analysts said would have met a lot of problems and challenges on the ground. But based on the initial concept of the mind of any leader getting into power, the vision and the intentions, would you say the vision and intention of the Tinubu leadership is in the right place?
All I can say is a fact that when you are elected into an office, you meet what you meet there. But if you study very well before you come in, you can almost predict what you will meet. Like now, if it pleases God and they want to replace Tinubu administration in 2027, we already know what they are doing. We know what we are likely to meet there. So the level of surprise should not be that radical. You should know what you're meeting. You are watching a match and it's halftime and your team is 3 goals down. You already know. You've been watching the match. So it's not when you take over as a coach that you discover that you're 3 goals down, because you've been watching the match from the beginning of the match. You know you're 3 goals down. Then what do you do next? Do you remove the goalkeeper, who actually is the best player there? Do you remove the captain of the team? Do you change the form? So the moment you take over, you should stop talking about the fact that you were 3 goals down. You start to be accountable for the action you took when you took over, because subsequently you met 3 goals down when you came in, but since you came in, you have considered 5 goals. So you cannot be complaining about the 3 goals you met on the ground. President Tinubu, from our assessment of him, is very sincere. However, he's sincerely wrong in the approach he has used so far.
Okay, let's take it one after the other. You think that he has good intention and is sincere, but he has a wrong approach.
That's correct. There are 3 errors. Number 1 error is that he wanted to do fiscal management, which you have to do in government. He wanted to do fiscal reform, which is to say, I don't like the idea that government is spending so much money on certain things like subsidy, petroleum subsidy, like funding, try to defend the naira by actually throwing your money at it. And that was causing a lot of deficit in the government financing, which deficit was also creating monetary problem. So what did he do? He removed the subsidy in a manner in which factor costs started rising, inflation started rising, creating problem for the central bank on how to manage inflation and foreign exchange. Now, at the same time, it's still running deficit anyway. So you see the problem. So it caused ripples in the larger economy, but the original problem he wanted to solve, he still hasn't solved it. All the money saved in the name of subsidy removal, all the money disappeared. He's still having to borrow more. So now the money diverted from subsidy has not raised employment in the economy. So there's no way you could say, oh, since they came, employment numbers have become more positive. So that's why I said the approach he took is wrong. Then if you look at the system he wants to run, which is a neoliberal system which he has the right to run, he has the mandate to do what he wants to do because he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do when he was campaigning. The problem is that the way he has set up his economic team, there's no sign that they are proactive. They are only reacting to the consequences of their earlier actions. So they are perpetually defending, perpetually behind. So the economic team is not nimble enough, it's not sharp enough. Even if he doesn't go outside his party to look for people to run the economic team, within his party, he has enough talent there. Along that, they are within the rubric of their own belief. He has not used even the best of the APC people. So, and you will see in a few places where he got the appointment right, you will see that within the same milieu. Let me give you an example that will tell you that the story of what I met on the ground is not a valid thing to say. Imagine if Wike had been saying, oh, I met the FCT, no street light, the roads are... He's not saying that. He goes straight to the business and he's doing it and you can see it. So, you look at the guy in the interior. He didn't say, oh, what I met on the ground. Oh, millions of passports, backlog, all of that. He's not doing that. So every time you watch the TV, where do you see President Tinubu go? He goes to FCT to open one road. He goes to Sauka or somewhere in the Ministry of Interior to do one technological system or the other. So imagine if he was doing that in marine and blue economy. If he was doing that in agriculture.
Does that economy see? Does that ministry?
No, they're just singing blues there right now. So if he goes there and do something like that in agriculture, the first minister he shows was quarreling with children that they were going to school too early, age of 18 and all of that. There's a lot of money in the education sector. A lot of money there that could have been used to transform university, create employment, expand the faculty. They don't do any of those things. So that's why I'm saying that the president himself, I understand his vision. I don't agree with it, but I understand him. What he is trying to do is that I will soften the Nigerian economy. And I will get Nigeria used to a bit of suffering. And I will soften the economy. Then foreign investment will come by way of foreign direct investment. But none of that has happened. And what it has to happen is that the environment is not macroeconomically stable enough for foreign investors to look at how local investors are reacting. I have money in my pocket, and I'm watching President Tinubu's budget. I haven't seen anything in this year's budget that suggests to me that I should bring that little money in my pocket and risk it in the economy. Therefore, my partner who is in China, Indonesia, anywhere, or USA, will also be more skeptical. So what I want us to understand is that they should stop talking about what they met on the ground. Apart from the fact that their party has been in power for 9 years, but I don't want to go into politics, they should stop talking about what they met on the ground, because what they met on the ground is what they used to campaign. They knew what they would meet on the ground. So there's no excuse about it.
So soften the ground, Abina adding the ground, Abina adding the land, whatever it is. I strongly believe that for everything that you are witnessing in that contraption, it's no coincidence. No coincidence. It's all intentional and deliberate. Yes, he's right that Tifnumbu was told that if he made this policy, if he made that policy, especially remove subsidy on electricity, remove subsidy on petroleum, remove this and that, it will attract, it will free some money. And at the same time, you can use that money, invest that money in some critical infrastructure. And then this would attract foreign investors. Papa, Tifnubu is a drug dealer. That is all the world needs to know. The only people that want to do business with that contraption are the money lenders, money changers, blood money movers. Do you understand what that means? Anyone who makes their money legitimately, or you are holding legitimate money on behalf of people, you will not take it to Nigeria. It is a very simple, straightforward thing. The number one demarketer of that contraption, Natifnumbu, he has traveled to over 23, he has left Nigeria 23 times. Do you know that? Yeah, he has left Nigeria 23 times in the last 20 months. He has not attracted up to $100 million investment. I'm talking about not this promissory note. And they said they will come and invest 14 billion. They will come and invest 5 billion. The Brazilian that said they were coming to, you remember that one the last time? G20, I've been at G7. The ones that they said were coming to invest $5 billion in agriculture. They will open agriculture center in 774 local government area of Nigeria. That's what they told you, didn't they? Promissory notes. The only people giving Tifnubu money in IMF and World Bank at the Afrexim Bank, AFDB2. Loan sharks. The ones that are telling him to continue to devalue the Naira. Float it. Yeah. These are the only people giving him money. Who go kind of invest money in a drug dealer's economy? Do you know that even Tifnubu is now saying that they will begin to tax illicit fund or drug? Yeah, they will pay tax. That's part of their tax reform, by the way. If you're a drug dealer, you should not worry. In Tifnubu's time, once you pay tax, don't worry. Illicit money, that's what they said. We will begin to tax illicit money, drug money. Because what really matters is that shall pay tax. If you pay tax, whatever business you are doing, no really matter. The only problem they say, if you are not paying them taxes, that is when they will come for you. If you are a drug dealer, heroin trafficker, just go and pick the form. Say you will pay tax. You think it's funny? It's not funny. They said it. We will tax all illicit fund. If you're a public official that is a looter, shall pay tax and enjoy your loot. The number one demarketer for that contraption na Tifnubu, the druggy, Nigeria shori completely. The longer he is there, the tougher it's going to be. But make everybody they speak English. Here you get. We are doing a reform. We are doing a reform. I've just been told right now, the Arise Television, Arise TV, that went to back in Ladi, back in Gwari, in Kaduna, that peace has now returned. Now we have just received the report that 15 worshippers have been kidnapped in Kaduna today from their church. I'll give you the details on that later anyway. 15 people have been kidnapped today by the repentant terrorists in Kaduna. Lies, propaganda, they don't run a country. They don't fix a country. So you will need, if you tell a lie right now, you are going to need extra 2 lies to cover the lies you have told today. So by tomorrow, so then you see that 2 lies you are going to use to cover the 1 lie that you told today. By tomorrow, you're going to need another extra 4 lies or 6 lies to cover the whole 3 lies. That's how it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And you know them, the more they repeat a lie, the more they start believing it. They will repeat the lies again and again and again. And then boom, they'll start believing it. That's what makes them dangerous. Very dangerous people. Like they believe that the more they repeat a lie, the more they repeat the lies, repeat it, then the more it's going to become the truth. But I know life no dey work like that. And that is why the supposed minister of youth, youth minister. Do you know who your minister of youth is? I've been a youth minister, Nigeria. He's a Sheyi Tifnubu's spokesman, by the way. According to him, Sheyi Tifnubu has an experience. His father was the former governor of Lagos. His father is now the president of the contraption. This put experience for Sheyi Tifnubu to become the governor of Lagos State. Listen to that.
So you and Sheyi, you are very close.
I'm close to him. He's my brother. He's my leader. He's my mentor. I look up to him.
You hear that he's probably been touted to be governor of Lagos State.
Everybody says whatever they like, actually. So everybody has everybody have tendency to become whatever he wants to become. But when it goes to political distance, everybody says what's like. When you are, this is what I've understand too. When you are outside there, and when you're popular, or you have one or two things to do, people will say a lot of things about you.
So you don't think the Sheyi himself is the one that is engineering that?
He's not. No. What if is he young? Is he too young to become a governor? He's not too young to become a governor. That's the truth.
So Sheyi can actually be the next governor of Lagos State.
He's qualified to become anything. He's a well-trained young man. Built
a father being a president, a son being a governor.
That has built a lot of young people, massive young people. Even when his father is not the president, we've seen president's sons, we've seen governor's sons, we've seen everybody enjoys the life. We see them and all that. This is the first time we're having it so different. That's the truth.
What is different about Sheyi?
The difference is that he pays a way for you to grow. He pays a way for you to grow.
So he's
not sitting down inside the sitting room enjoying lives alone or with his friends in America and every other places in the world. But he's there doing the work himself. Wants to see how things can go differently to the young people.
So you and Sheyi, you are very close.
You hear that? That's a minister. Yeah, that's a minister for youth under Tifnumbu. You'll be hearing things like Tifnumbu made a lot of people. You know what they mean by that? Yeah, if you want to become, you know how many people that through Tifnumbu, they became senators. They became governors. You know how many people that got political appointments? That's what they are saying. That's what they mean by he made people. And according to that dunderhead, that mofo, that's the same thing, the attribute of Sheyi Tifnumbu. He has made a lot of people. He's somebody who wants you to grow. You know, he's somebody who wants you to grow. Yeah, so that you can get political appointments. But when it now comes to what are the track records of those who have become governors, who have become this and that, on the lives of the people they led, go and check it. The people they led became poorer, wretched, while they themselves became richer. So you have to hold them. You hold the father, you hold the son. You know, it can't be like Trinity. Yeah, say you hold the father, you hold the mother, you hold the son. In the name of the father, in the name of the mother, and in the name of the son. Apologies to my Christian people. I don't mean to. You shall get an idea of what I'm trying to say. Because these people actually, they don't have any God, they don't have any religion, they worship these men. And they owe their survivor from poverty to these guys for life. Because the more they become something, there is a chance for them to be rewarded. That is what they worship in that contraption. That's why I wonder, some of them are like, go show us all the people that Peter Obi made. It's like, what do you mean? Show us all the people that work with Peter Obi and they become something in life. Like, what do you mean by become something? Like they became governors or what have you, like as a godfather of the thing. But what about the people's lives that kind of was like impacted, kind of, right? Leave that one. How many people that follow Peter Obi are still relevant today in politics? So it's like, okay, relevant, you mean like they are still like running about, living off the system, right? That's what the likes of Tifnumbu, that's their criteria. Tifnumbu made a lot of people. What that simply means is that he was able to, make a lot of stooges who have taken advantage of the same people they are supposed to be actually like serving. And that's the qualification. That's all you need. Oh, talking about Obi, he also said this to the obedient. All of you should come. Let us work together and fix Nigeria. Obedient, this one is for you.
So yeah, you'll be talking to the obedient.
Sure.
So you want the obedient to come on stream?
I want them to come and let's build this country together. They have
the brain. Do you think they will?
They have the brain, right? And that is what we appreciate. And that is what you see us doing on Twitter and XPs and all that. We have intellectual capacity to drive things. The way we drive it on the social platforms, let us come and drive our country. We have an open ministry now. We have a ministry that belongs to us. Not because of political party. Not because of you are Habga. Not because you are in this agency. Not because you are Obi. and whatever you are supporting. Even Asiwaju himself, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you can see him is one of the presidents that is demonstrating what I call not partisan government. And that is why you see a lot of people, you see a lot of them in this government, not even in this government. We engage them. He said it when he was in Enugu. He said, I don't know your party. I don't even know where you belong to. But in as much you are doing better and you are doing great things for the people. And that is why I also said that this collaboration is also from the grassroots, from the local government autonomy. When we get it right, so fine, then to the state and to the federal. The federal government cannot do all. So we call on everybody. I'm approaching. In fact, when I have their numbers, I will reach out to them. And that's one thing about me that I've been doing. Even if I don't pick your call, chat me, I will answer you. I will respond to you. When you bring something on the table that makes sense, I will not give you my number. The ones I can do, I will do. The ones I can't do, I will not do, because you cannot satisfy everybody. That's the human nature.
So yeah, you'll be talking to the...
That's your minister. All right? Asiwaju doesn't care about your, it's a man that everybody is welcome, which is not true. There is this list flying about, okay, of Tifnumbu's appointments. Okay? And yeah, Bokwari started it. And then Tifnumbu continues. Even though none of these people represent Yoruba, but when he said Emi Lokan, he's not talking about the Yorubas, he's talking about those who are indeed going to serve his interest. And then, yeah, this is what they meant by the Yorubanization of the contraption, which Bokwari did, okay? So Chief Justice is a Yoruba, Chief of Army Staff, a Yoruba, Inspector General, Yoruba, DG Department of State Service, DSS, Yoruba, Commander Brigade of Guard, Yoruba, Chief of Defense Space Administration, Commandant National Defense College, CG Nigerian Customs Service, CG Federal Fire Service, Accountant General, Central Bank Governor, EFCC Chairman, Federal FIRS Chairman, Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, DG CEO, Nigeria Maritime Administration and Safety, NIMASA, DG CEO, Asset Management Corporation, DG National Pension, DG Bureau of Public Procurement, MD CEO, Federal Airport, that's the FAN, DG Bureau of Public Enterprises, MD CEO of Nigerian Export Processing Zones Authority. You get? None of this turned to any prosperity in Yorubaland, though. Don't forget to, right? Now, you have Commissioner of National Insurance Commission, DG, CEO, National Identity Management Commission, DG, CEO, National Space Research and Development Agency, DG, CEO, National Center for Technology Management, DG, CEO, National Automotive Design and Development Council, Chairman, Nigerian Port Authority Board, MD, Federal Housing Authority, National Lottery Trust Fund, National Lottery Regulatory Commission, Nigeria Postal Service, Nigerian Data Protection Commission, Galaxy Backbone Limited, National Biosafety Management Agency, National Agency for the Control of AIDS, National Agency for Food and Drug Administration, NAFDAC, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Nigeria Center for Disease Control, Statistician General, National Bureau of Statistics, National Sugar Development Council, Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria, Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, National Coordinator, National Social Safety Net Coordinating Office, National Sports Commission, Nigeria Tourism Development Corporation, National Orientation Agency. Baba, don't pay the Yorubanization here. And there is more. You get? Now, Bokwari started it, so Tifnumbu just had to continue in their tradition. What they call the national agency, or they call it federal character. You know that federal character, which means every tribe, every ethnic nationality must be given equal representation in the government business. Maybe so that they do them for that place. Once it is your turn, if you like, as an Igbo man, you can go and appoint Yoruba and Hausa. That's your problem. The last time that they had anything close to national character, like, you know, is it called character? I don't know. The last time they had anything close to that was during the good luck Erosion time. All right. But right now, after the Fulanization, now Yorubanization next, job for the boys. Turn by Turn Nigeria Limited. And none of these people, none of them is interested in anything Yoruba. Just take your shot, right? Their meal ticket, their own meal ticket is because they are Yorubas. In some places, they have to sack people. Yeah. It's not as if to say all these Yoruba people, it's not because they are like the most senior. No. In some place, they have to sack some people and say, you are the one next to be next in line. I sack here. Oh, yeah, promote you. This is your fake Nigeria. This is the government of national unity that they are like pushing. So everybody shall they deceive themselves in that contraption. When you are done, you get, we'll break up the entire contraption. Here
is my final word, everyone, and it's directly to Mr. President. And I hope it's not too late to tell him a happy new year. And I'm hoping it's a new year, new Nigeria. There are a lot of people who say, new year, new me. Hoping it's a new year, new president, new Nigeria. Well, Mr. President, Nigerians are watching. They are counting the months, the weeks, and the days. And in 4 short months, your administration will enter its 2nd year. A pivotal milestone where patience gives way to accountability. You campaigned on the promises of renewed hope, better security, abundant food supply, and policies that should lift millions from hardship and poverty. Yet, after a year marred by soaring tariffs, crippling energy costs, and dwindling purchasing power, millions of Nigerians are grappling with unprecedented hardship. The question that echoes across the land is, where is the light at the end of the tunnel? But I hope everyone might want to start afresh with a renewed vigor and hope that 2025 will be a better year. You assured Nigerians that this pain is a prelude to progress, a difficult but necessary phase that would yield joy and prosperity. And Nigerians, resilient as ever, they've kept faith with you and in your words. But faith, Mr. President, is not infinite. Time is your most fleeting asset, and it is slipping away. As you approach the halfway mark of your 4-year term, it is clear the clock is not on your side any longer. The policies you've introduced require visible results. The people demand proof that their sacrifices will not be in vain. President Tinubu, Nigerians understand that you are not a magician, but he elected you with the hope that your policies would bring relief, not amplify their sufferings. Today, they are grappling with soaring inflation driven by the removal of fuel subsidies, skyrocketing food prices that have left over 30 million citizens at risk of hunger, and a naira devaluation that has crippled purchasing power. Transportation costs are at an all-time high. Businesses are struggling under regulatory uncertainties, and public outrage is mounting over government spending on luxury items while many live in abject poverty. Nigerians are not asking for miracles. They are asking for focus, action, and empathy. Fix at least 3 issues that directly impact survivor. Stabilize food prices, make transportation affordable, and reduce inflation. You must assemble the best minds, regardless of region or allegiance, to tackle these challenges. Time is not on your side, Mr. President. Nigerians need urgent results, and they are watching. This new year offers you a fresh opportunity to reset, to lead with empathy, and to demonstrate that you truly mean well for the Nigerian people. Reduce the cost of governance, lead by example, and show Nigerians that sacrifice begins at the very top. Our leaders cannot luxuriate in opulence while citizens languish in poverty. This is the time for decisive, transformative action. Nigerians deserve a leader who is firm yet compassionate, bold yet introspective, and unwavering in his commitment to deliver the better Nigeria he promised. History is calling, Mr. President, and so are the people of Nigeria. As the media, we pledge to hold you accountable, to amplify the voices of the voiceless, and to demand justice for every Nigerian struggling to breathe under the weight of economic hardship. The sands of time are shifting. President Bola Tinubu, will you write your name in gold? And that is my final word tonight. Thank you, everyone, for
70 years old man.
You. Jesus is Lord. Jesus. You.
70 years old man.
You. Jesus is Lord. Jesus. You.
Carry me they go. Over carry me they go my husband house. And that's exactly what Tinubu did. Carry me they go. Pilots, carry me they go Abu Dhabi. Carry me they go. Is there in Abu Dhabi. I can't remember what they said he's doing there, by the way. Call you. They go talk about climate. Call. And when he landed, the same people that greeted him to enter plane in Lagos, have been in Abuja, and the same people welcome him when he go to Abu Dhabi. Say, carry me, they go, pilot. Carry me, they go, Abu Dhabi. No mind these people. Just carry me, they go. Pilot, carry me, they go, Abu Dhabi. Carry me, they go. Carry me, they go, Abu Dhabi. Like I've never seen anything like this in my life, right? These guys, it's like they don't feel safe in Nigeria. Like you are the president of Nigeria in Nigeria, then you will need like a 200 cars. The army, the DSS, the police, the civil defense, the Navy, the Air Force, the ambulance, the armor tank, and all of that stuff. Then you have like about 250 cars following in Nigeria. But when they leave Nigeria, now just one single car. Like, how do you feel safe in another place, in another country than your own country? It's not another country that you are supposed to have all the security guiding you because nobody your country. I don't understand. Do you? You will see your governors driving 100 cars, 200 cars. Blocking the road. But here, when they come around all these places, when they go outside Nigeria, they are going to be in traffic. Inside one car. I don't understand. You know, is it inferiority complex? You know, it must be something. You know, like in your own country, maybe say now your people they deal, or you are the president, or like, you know, they are supposed to be your people. You are supposed to be driving about in one car. At worst, maybe two. But no, they need about 400, 300 cars. Block the road. It's like the people won't kill them. It's like the people hate them. But when they leave Nigeria, even your governors, they go enter train. Imagine, they go enter train, public bus. They go enter Uber to go from one place to another. But in the contraption where they are actually leading their people, they are afraid of going about alone. Bulletproof car. Meanwhile, now ordinary Benz are being loving. I don't understand though, you know. Well, I think I do. It's like, you know, nobody gives a damn about them. What the hell are you? Right? At worst, they will kind of send you 2 cars to take you and your entourage. You tell the rest of them to stay in their hotel, or they should find their way to the venue. There's no convoy, there's no blocking of the road, there's no shutting down of traffic for you. If you enter traffic, now your problem is that you go stay inside the traffic until you get to where you're going. You know? But it is Nigeria, the contraption. Baba, I'll leave it at that and just go to bed. This is the end of the Sunday sermon on Mayegun's Diary Political. And I pray, close your eyes, I pray that everything you heard on this platform today that is meant to touch and change your sense of reasoning, your you know, change your ways of seeing this contraption and the enemies of the people. I hope and I pray, not hope, I pray that it shall be permanent. Your liberation, your mental, what do you call it? Your mental clarity that this broadcast must have done on you, I pray it becomes permanent. Because we can't continue like this. All right? Totu, thank you so much, Baba. And to all of us, right? I wish you all have a very great week this week. Okay? Thank you so much for your time. I am going to see you again. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Mayegun Diary, Diary Political.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun Diary.
gbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Prẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Àyè.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Mayegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀gọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.